Hey, welcome back to How I Do It. My name's Matt. This is going to be a little bit of a different video. It's instead of a project or a how-to video, this is going to be an about me and a 2017 outlook video. It is a new year, so that means new goals, new plans. Most people are making New Year's resolutions and trying to stick to them. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I just stick to one thing, and that I hope that this year is better than the last. If that's the case, I'll always be happy and can't really ask for much more than that. So most of you know me from Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. You see what I'm posting there when I'm working on projects. A lot of my friends and family sort of are the push behind the YouTube videos and me producing more content on the social media platforms. Everybody always sees me doing something different. They have for years in my personal life, and everybody's always kind of wondering, what am I going to be up to next? I never end up sticking with one thing for very long when it comes to hobbies around the house and projects around the house. I always like to jump from one thing to the next, and one time I'll be sewing something on the sewing machine, the next time I'll be building something in my backyard, and the next time I'll be working here at the desk on some electronics. Sometimes all three of those come together into one thing. Occasionally people find out what I'm up to and they're really interested. So a lot of my friends have said that they're always curious what I'm doing and they're always looking to see what I'm going to do next. And then a few of them started talking about how-to videos or just doing videos of some of the stuff that I'm doing, and how they watch people on YouTube and they say, huh, Matt could be doing that. I bet Matt would do that. And I get, just the other day, a buddy of mine posted a picture of something on Facebook, I think a video, and tagged me in it and said, I could see you building this. I looked at it and it's now on my list of things to build. That's just the type of person I am. I have a thirst for knowledge in things that I don't understand. If I don't fully understand how something works, then I want to learn more about it. That's what's driven me to have the extent of knowledge and the variety of knowledge that I have. On my desk here and all over my YouTube channel, you'll see hashtag generalist. That's a hashtag that I'm using. I haven't really seen anybody else use it. It's sort of that jack of all trades, master of none sort of mentality. I know a lot about a lot of different topics, and I'm always interested in learning more. Like I said, especially if I don't know something. Some of the categories of things that really pique my interest, I like woodworking, metalworking, electronics. In the last year and a half, I've really gotten into 3D printing with my first purchase of the Fulgurtech Kossel kit. That's the Revision B version of it. I assembled that in 24 hours and I've been 3D printing pretty much ever since. Then just recently I purchased the PowerSpec Ultra 3D printer that's a pre-assembled. Basically it's a FlashForge Dreamer. From everything I've seen, my understanding is FlashForge actually builds this printer. While they're building Dreamers, they were producing these. And amazingly, this printer has been great. I've been running it through its paces every day since I got it, making sure it can do everything that I want it to do. Otherwise, it's going to go back to Micro Center down in Towson, Maryland, where I bought it. Some of the other things beyond the typical maker categories that interest me, I do know how to use a sewing machine enough to get a job done. I just recently got into airbrush painting with acrylic paints, which is something, me and being artsy never really got along, but the paintbrush seems to be an interesting road that I think I'm gonna definitely continue to head down. Check out my Instagram stream for a few of the things that I've airbrushed. I've only airbrushed 5 or 6 things at this point, and every one of them, honestly, I'm very proud of them. And obviously I'm going to say that because it's my work, but I'm extremely proud of what I've created with the airbrush so far since I just picked it up. And I've never airbrushed before in my life up until now. The closest I came to airbrushing was a can of spray paint and one collar. Here I'm combining multiple collars and doing everything airbrushed. So I've started heading down that category of airbrushing, which the 3D printing has really played a part in that, in printing models. I know a lot of people say it and they try to prove it. My use of my 3D printers is they are a tool. I have enough understanding of my printers to be able to make them functional instead of just printing the neat models and stuff that you find on Thingiverse. I am printing parts to repair tools that I have that parts are no longer available for. Printing things that I use at work, like one of the first functional prints that I printed with my printer, which was one of the very first things I printed, was a funnel that fit a certain container perfectly for my work. I've even gone to the extent now where I've printed parts for my job as replacement parts on equipment. Now, they didn't stay in as permanent replacements, but they were able to get a customer through for a weekend instead of having to have their system be down for a weekend. I modeled and printed a part, and that very same day, we had that part in, and they were back up and running. Now, was it cost effective to have me develop a part, drive to pick it up, and then drive back to put it in? Not necessarily, but at the same time, when you consider the loss that that restaurant would have incurred by their beer not being cold, they would have lost a lot of money. So it definitely paid for itself for them instead of them having to give out free beer or no beer for the weekend. That's a big money maker for a restaurant. So I do like to look for useful ways and functional ways to use my printers. But I have fun from time to time. You can see I've got some different 3D printed trinkets like my Maker's coin. But the biggest thing I pride myself on is I'm not only a maker, I'm a generalist. I have a general knowledge on lots of different categories, and I have major knowledge on certain parts of those categories that help out with the rest of them, such as doing heating and air conditioning work for my day-to-day job. So as far as a little bit more of my background, I went to college for a year for computer science before deciding I wanted to go down a different path, which is when I chose the heating and air conditioning path. That was 11 years ago, going on almost 12 years ago now, that I started doing heating and air conditioning. I'm a service technician. The biggest thing that drew me to heating and air conditioning and drew me away from computer science was troubleshooting. That was my interest with computers, still is my interest with computers and technology, is troubleshooting. And I'm the type of person who, if something's not broken and I'm curious how it works, I may very well take it apart and figure out how it works. If something is broken, I don't like to admit that something's broke, so I will take things apart and try to fix them. The 3D printers have come in handy for some of that stuff, and so has my metalworking skills and my woodworking skills, and sometimes my MacGyver skills, we'll call it. They've all come in handy, and sometimes that stuff will show in my videos when I do quick how-to videos on, you know, here's a problem I have at hand and here's how I want to fix it. So that's probably enough about myself for now. If you do have questions, personal questions for me, go ahead and post them down in the comments or send me a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. I'll have all my information for those down below. But on Twitter, you can find me. My handle is Country Cowboy. On Instagram, my handle is Matthew Flinchball. And on Facebook, I'm on there as well as Matthew Flinchball. I do have a bit of an amateur knowledge in photography, and that has played a part into my step into going into YouTube, is using a lot of my photography gear, like the lighting and the camera that I'm recording this with, is all from my photography stuff. So I've already had some of the equipment in order to do the video, and I've purchased a little bit here and there, but trying to do it sort of low budget. I'm not trying to make money from YouTube. I'm just putting out my content for the people who are interested in seeing what I'm up to. If people feel the need to donate to me down the road, if I set up a Patreon, which I do plan to do, in order to help fund projects, that money will get turned around and put right back into projects, into 3D printing and other tools to do jobs, lumber, metal, whatever materials I need, is my plan when I do start setting that stuff up. But if you do want to donate to me ahead of time, you can feel free to. I'm not asking you to. It is nice sometimes to donate to the creators on YouTube. It's a lot of work to do YouTube videos, and there's quite a few people that I respect the videos that they put out and feel that it is content quality that is worth me paying for it. So I do donate to some of the other YouTubers, and I'd appreciate it if people do for me, but again, I'm not asking for it. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to just share the projects that I'm working on with other people who share similar interests. So, with that said, going forward for 2017, as of late, since starting the channel, most of the videos that you've seen me do are 3D printing related in one way or another. The live streams have all been 3D printing related or 3D modeling in Fusion 360. Throughout 2017, my plan is to release videos. I'm not going to dedicate to one video a week or 2 videos a week or 1 video a month. Right now, things at my work are very busy with doing service calls and the amount of guys that we have. So I'm not going to commit 100% to doing videos every week on certain days of the week or whatever the case is. The live streams, they're going to pop up when I have something I feel like sharing or I want some instant feedback as I'm doing things. I'll be doing the live streams. Here in Pennsylvania, we're getting into the colder parts of the winter, which means less time outside because of the temperatures, because of limited daylight. Till I get home from work in the evenings, it's usually dark, even if I get home early on those days. But it's getting colder outside, so a lot of the videos are going to end up being, most likely this winter, will be airbrushing, there'll be 3D printing, and maybe some smaller projects in the workshop. I do have a few projects sitting in my wood shop right now that I need to get working on that I started back before Christmas and ran into time constraints with everything else leading up to Christmas, so I haven't been able to move forward with those. I do have some footage of those that I need to go through, and I need to complete those projects in order to be able to do any project videos on that stuff. And I'm in the process of, I just started working in the wood shop that I'm in, so I'm getting things organized and set up the way that I want them. I'm getting the equipment that's in there that's been sitting for quite a few years since my wife's grandfather passed away. I'm getting that stuff up and running and getting things cleaned up and situated so that the shop is effective for me to use it. I will, especially as the weather warms up, I do a lot more outside than I do inside in the office. I do a lot more off the computer as far as projects go. I'm constantly working on stuff around my house and building things. My neighbors are always watching me to see what's next. And a lot of times they'll come over once I get started on something and they'll start asking me about what I'm doing, or sometimes just being neighborly and chatting, which is always a good thing. It always helps to clear your mind when your neighbors come over and talk, and I love talking to my neighbors. For the winter, don't be surprised if it's going to be a lot of 3D printing and airbrushing. I might get into a little bit of modeling as far as creating models from reference images and stuff. That's something I really want to learn how to do in Fusion. So I may be doing some of that as just dedicated videos to modeling. I just recently did the replacement bases for the Google Home, which you can see back here in the background. I just uploaded a video recently for that. And I have a lot more going on. Again, I'm testing out my PowerSpec Ultra printer. I'm putting it to the test. I'm printing every kind of material I can get my hands on. And right now, the printer's sitting idle, but that's rare at this point. It's pretty much been printing one thing a day, if not 2 or 3 things a day if they're smaller. Sometimes more. I printed a whole pile of the little Marvin models from Thingiverse. That was just doing some samples on some higher temperature filaments and different types of plastic. So I've been testing that out. I've been busy working on models for my dad. He is in charge of sporting clay traps at 2 different sportsmen's clubs. And I've been printing some enclosures for him for his control wiring. I've also been printing quite a few replacement parts for his traps that are expensive if they order the OEM part. We're actually going to be doing some testing on those in the near future to see the different print strengths that I've done as far as like 50% infill, 25% infill, 100% infill. To see how those different parts hold up to the stress that they're going to be under. So I'll be doing a video on that. I'm going to be doing more with the base for the Google Home. I don't know if I'll be doing videos on every single thing that I do with that, but definitely check that out. I'll be doing a review on the PowerSpec Ultra as soon as I'm done with that. I've got a few more days here in the return period, so I just want to put it completely through its tests. I would imagine that video will be out probably by the middle of January or the end of January at the latest. I'll have that review up unless I would decide for some reason to get rid of the printer and take it back to the store, which could happen, but so far that's not looking very likely. I've been very happy with this printer, except for some issues I had tonight, which appear to be filament related. So I'll be looking into that. And I'll probably do some tips and tricks videos from time to time. I'm not going to call it life hacks, but some simple everyday how-tos. I'll be doing stuff like that throughout the year. And I do have a big project that I'm working on. I have the first part of it set up. I'm going to be doing a set of videos that are interview videos with other makers. And it's going to be a twist on what you've seen other places do. I haven't really seen any channels like the Make channel or Adafruit or any of them actually doing anything quite like what I'm going to do. I don't want to give away too many details because I'm not planning on recording the first video for that until this spring when the weather warms up a little bit. And I'm not exactly sure yet on all the details on how that interview is going to, how the interview videos are going to go. I'm not sure exactly on the formatting of them yet. So that's a huge project that I have underway that I'm beginning to ramp up the planning on. I already have the first interviewee picked out. One of the things I'm going to be putting out here soon is I will be asking some questions of the community, of both the makers and the viewers. I'm going to be asking for some input from the community. I'm definitely all about being involved with the communities, the woodworking, the metalworking, the 3D printing. I'm definitely going to be asking for the input from the community. That's going to be part of what makes this project great. I can't wait to get started on it, especially with the first interviewee. I really can't wait to talk to this person. I do have another project underway with a certain subscription service that is in discussion right now. I hope to see that through here in the next month or so and get a video out for you guys on that. So other than that, if you guys do have any questions for me, feel free to post them down in the comments. Post down in the comments, let me know what you think so far of what I've done. Let me know what you think of this video. I've changed the format a little bit here, a little bit better quality than some of the other videos that I was doing, and a little bit better lighting. Let me know what you think of those changes. I can't guarantee that every single time they're going to be in this format, Sometimes some of the videos are going to be shot just with the equipment that I have, which may sometimes just be my cell phone. Other times it may be my DSLR. We'll see. I hope to get a few action cameras to be able to get some action shots, and we'll see. We'll see where things go from here. Again, my resolution for 2017, as it is every year, is that I want to make this year better than last year. Part of that is my focus on the YouTube channel and hopefully sharing a little bit of my knowledge with you guys and a little bit of my experience, and hopefully motivate and inspire you to create and make, and to not be afraid to tinker. That's the most important thing of what I do, is I'm not afraid to tinker with stuff, and we'll see how it goes. I really hope to impress you, and I hope to keep you interested. If you are interested and you want to see more, hit the subscription button down below. If you do like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up, and let me know that you like what I'm doing, you like what I'm thinking of doing, and we'll see how things go here. And if you don't trust me, okay, Google, tell them
they should hit the like button if they liked the video, subscribe if they want to see more, and click the bell to be notified immediately of new uploads.
So you heard it straight from Google. Again, my name's Matt. Welcome to the channel, How I Do It. I'll take you along on the journey of how I do things in my day-to-day life and how I think through processes. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to see you back.